Hi, my name is Lisa McHaley and I'm with the Children's Environmental Literacy Foundation, also known as CELF. CELF was founded in 2003 on the principle that education for sustainability is essential for every K-12 student. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the diversity hunt activity, which is a really simple activity you can do with your parents. You can do this activity indoors or outdoors. If you do this activity outdoors, please remember to be safe and keep 6 feet away from anybody that you come across. This activity doesn't require many materials, and it has a lot to do with a principle of sustainability that's really important, which is interdependence and interconnections. So we're going to be walking around the neighborhood today, looking at our neighborhood with the mind of a detective. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take some very simple materials. These are paint chips that you can get at the paint store. If you don't happen to have paint chips, you can simply take a piece of scrap paper and put a color on it with a magic marker or a crayon. And all you're going to do as you're walking around the neighborhood is see if you can come up with something that will match the color on the card or the color of the marker. So let's get started. This plant's just coming up. It's also known as garlic mustard, and it's actually a plant that we call an invasive. So it's not really a plant that we love to see a lot of because it grows and replaces plants that belong here naturally. So this is a Forsythia, and it looks like it matches our magic marker chip. So right now we've matched 2 colors in our palette. We've matched the green to the garlic mustard, and we've matched the yellow to the Forsythia. And we're going to remember all of the plants that we have, either recording it by taking a picture or just remembering the plants that you've done. So it looks like we have another match here. This is a dandelion, and it's not really important to know the names of everything. We're just matching the colors right now. But you may have seen dandelions around. Oftentimes you see them in the grass in parks or in your neighbor's yard. So I think we almost have a match here, just underneath the bark of this tree. You can see a little bit of brown peeking through. So now we have a dandelion, a Forsythia, garlic mustard, and now a tree. And here we have another match to our brown, a leaf. And think about what's happening with that leaf right now. It looks very different from this leaf when you compare the two. And it looks like we almost have a match here in my neighbor's planter. And this is some moss. And moss is pretty important in that it really holds moisture. So this is an exciting find. On this tree, there are some very interesting things sticking out that happen to match this paint chip very closely. So we have a variety of greens here, a lot of them that match our paint chip. And this is kind of special. This little plant here, you only see in April here in New York, New England. It's called Dutchman's breeches. So we're back inside, and on the chart paper here, I've written down all of the things that we saw outside. So the first thing we ran into was the garlic mustard, which is our green plant. We saw the Forsythia, which was that small yellow flower on the bush. The dandelion, which was very close to the ground, that yellow flower. We saw a dead leaf, some moss in the planter, the tree bark, and a fungus on the tree. And way out in the woods, we were able to see some Dutchman's breeches. So all of these things are separate, but what we're going to do now is figure out the relationships that each one of them has between the other. So let's, for example, look at the Forsythia, the dandelion, and the Dutchman's breeches. All right, all of those right now have flowers. So we can connect them as flowers that we can see. Believe it or not, trees also have flowers. So if we were looking at the tree, we could also think of that as having flowers. Another thing is that the moss will also help all of these plants by providing moisture. So the Dutchman's breeches, the dandelion, the fungus, the garlic mustard, and the Forsythia all rely on water, and water can be held in place by the moss. The tree bark and the fungus on the tree bark are related because there are only specific kinds of trees that the fungus will grow on. And the tree bark and the dead leaf are related, and the fungus is related by the fact that the dead leaf is now in the process of decomposing. My marker's running out. The fungus also only will work on certain types of tree bark. So fungus can be very specific, but fungus is another type of decomposer. Eventually, all of these things will die, or some of the flowers will go to seed, and all of them will be worked on by decomposers. So those are some of the connections that we can find. You can probably find a lot of other connections, but right now we're looking at the relationships and the interdependence between all things that seem to be separate, but actually are related and interconnected and interdependent on one another. Another thing you can do is, if you're not able to go outside, you can take the paint chips and walk around inside and collect things inside that are the same color as the paint chips, and then see if you can draw them out and come up with relationships between things that are even in your house or your apartment. Another thing you can do is take pictures using something called iNaturalist, which is an app on your phone, and there's a great video from the Hudson Highlands Land Trust on how to use iNaturalist if you're interested in the names of things. iNaturalist, if you're interested in learning the names of things, will help you learn the names of some of the things in your neighborhood. So this is Lisa McKaylee from the Children's Environmental Literacy Foundation, and this is the Diversity Hunt activity, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a chance to do this outside and bring nature inside or do it inside. And if you would like to reach me, you can reach me at the Children's Environmental Literacy Foundation by emailing lisa@CELF, CELF education.org. Bye, thanks.